fuck out of here.
You realize that my mother is going to listen to this podcast at some point. So you know,
what's your mom's name? What's your mom's name?
Maureen,
listen, Maureen Smotherman, thank you for raising an amazing son. We appreciate him. We appreciate what he does. Notice how I'm being polite. And he is a community man, and I apologize for anything I may have said that offends you. We are joking, and we are just we're just silly human beings. There's your promo.
She will very much appreciate that. Maybe you can edit that into the beginning when you edit out the part about the concert. You've got to not announce that's happening.
Oh yes,
right.
Thank you.
I think Josh can take this, and this is for Maureen, right, Maureen?
Yes.
Maureen Smotherman, this is for you. We love your son, Jordan. He's amazing. And thank you for raising just an outstanding adult of a human being.
If it was illegal to say stupid things into a microphone,
why must you be so stupid?
These guys would be doing life without parole.
Hey, everybody, we're back from prison.
Why do we keep encouraging this kind of behavior? It's the Breaking the Ice podcast with Josh Dolan.
You know, we could, go to jail for this.
Along with Mike Shue and Isaiah Moskahana Mana Blitz Moskowitz, whatever the hell his name is.
We're good, man. We're good. I was just taking a piss, and yes, I washed my hands.
Good to know.
I gotta be honest and be like, this is what I do with my life. You play hockey, I fucking piss and wash my hands.
Yeah.
So is Mike Shue? What the fuck is he dead? What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. He was supposed to. I was supposed to be on the radio with him this morning too, and he was a no show from that.
Really, Mike Shue not showing up for the Pike Up? Really?
I mean, he doesn't tell us anything anyway. But I mean,
he doesn't communicate at all with us. We're usually like, hey, you do know we have a standing date Thursdays at 4 p.m. to do the show, and sometimes he'll be like at 5 up, I can't do it. Okay, good.
Well, that's why I messaged you last night, Josh, to see if we were still doing this today, because I found out that he wasn't going to be there this morning.
Yeah, that was news to me when I opened Instagram, and I was like, oh,
there you go. Right.
Did you still go on the Pike this morning?
Yeah, I hopped on with Adam this morning.
So you're saying that it was a better interview. This is what I'm hearing. This is Jordan Smotherman, captain of the Worcester Railers, saying officially on Breaking the Ice podcast, it's better when I call Pike FM when Mike Shue's not there.
I mean, that's not at all what I said, but you can take what you want from it.
Here on this podcast, we put words in your mouth. So this
perfect. Yes, I'm glad I'm on here again. Then that's great. Yeah.
Awesome. So
well, wait a minute, Josh. Can we just deal with the elephant in the room? The reason we wanted you on because last time you had your girlfriend on, she was amazing. Is she there?
No, she no longer is a thing. So
yeah. Good job, Isaiah.
You guys wonder why I started scoring so much in January and February there.
Oh, you said it. You said it, not us.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. So that could be the podcast right there. This is why your captain is scoring, because he's not distracted by a woman.
Some guys in the room made the link and pointed it out to me a couple weeks after it happened, and yeah.
Were they saying that you were whipped?
No, they were just noticing a correlation between an improvement in performance.
Now, see, I saw that link kind of differently, where after you came on this podcast, the next game you immediately scored a hat trick or 4 goals, maybe.
Yeah, it was a 4-point night, so it was 3-1.
Okay.
So yeah, it could have actually just been that. You're right. You know, I could be reading into the other thing way too much.
Or whenever I know somebody that's at the game, you seem to score a hat trick. I'm always getting texts like, Jordan scored. You scored again.
You should send more friends to the games then.
I'm actually going to be there Saturday, so we'll see what happens.
Perfect. Yeah.
No pressure.
Yeah, no, none whatsoever.
Where are we at with the Railers right now? Where are the Worcester Railers sitting? What's this? Give me the scoop on where you're going.
The Worcester Railers are currently sitting in a playoff spot by 0.0001 percentage points.
Jesus.
I think we're at like 5.087, and I think that Maine is right now at 5.086 or something like that.
Okay. So what do we got? How many games left?
We've got 6 games left. We're also fighting with the Frenchies up there, Trois-Rivières, and we play them 5 games over the next 6. So it's basically a best of 5 series at this point with them to decide.
You're playing them
who
5
will make
times
it.
in 6 games?
Yeah. So we've got them Friday, Saturday, and then Wednesday, Friday, Saturday with the game on Sunday against Adirondack sprinkled in there.
So it's already the playoffs.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
basically, if we make it all the way, it'll be a 5-round playoff because we've got a 5-game series that starts on Friday.
Is that a thing in the league where you play a team 5 times? And I mean, I've seen home and aways in the NHL for sure, but 5 games against the same team.
Our schedule has been a disaster for this last 2 months.
Yeah.
I mean, we at one point actually we were supposed to play Reading, so we got hit with COVID pretty hard, kind of mid-January, December. We were supposed to play Reading like 9 of 11 games in a row in that stretch.
What the fuck?
We ended up having to cancel a couple of those, and so they all got moved around. We rescheduled those games in the middle of an already very busy schedule. And I think the way the season finished, there's something crazy like 25 games in 40 some days or something. So it was, it's been crazy. And I think 12 of our last 15 games on the road or something like that.
Jesus Christ.
Now, is there like, do you already know like the scenarios of like how you guys can clinch? Like if this person loses and that one,
if it was points, I'd have it figured out. As soon as you throw in division and point percentage, I couldn't tell you. If you look at our schedule, who we play, we control our fate. It's 5 games against that team. I'm pretty sure if we win 3 of 5 against them, it would put us in. 3 of our last 6, we still have a very good chance. Honestly, I couldn't tell you because it's a 3-team battle for 2 spots. Because Maine's still in the hunt too. They've got a tough schedule. They play Reading 4 times and Newfoundland twice to finish their year. So it's a complete shit show and toss up right now.
I always hate that at the end of the season when it's like there's 2 teams with the same amount of points and they're trying to figure out who clinches, who doesn't, and it's like they start counting like who's the tallest. So
yeah, pretty much. That's what it's going to come down to. I mean, the fact they're doing win percentage. Like I said, it stretches to the 100,000th of a decimal point or whatever it's at right now is the determining factor. It's crazy. So
it's overall wins, but then there's the percentage of wins on top of it, or just
so it's solely based on win percentage now at this point because of COVID. Not everybody's going to be able to make up all of their games. So I think we're playing 71 games instead of 72. Maine's going to get a full season into 72. I think Trois-Rivières is playing 69 or something like that.
Yeah, I just brought up your schedule. You're playing them 1, 2. So Friday, Saturday. You like you said, you play Adirondack, and then boom, boom, boom. 3 more. Jesus Christ, that's playoff. That's it right there. One of my questions I was going to ask you was like
the first round.
Right, it is. One of the things I was going to ask you was like, who at this point in your career as the captain of the Worcester Railers is like your team's rival, like the one that you like. The Bruins fucking hate the Canadians. Who do the Railers just cannot stand playing against? And it's really good. It's physical. People end up getting hurt. It's like, which one is it?
It's really hard to say. I mean, in our division, we play Maine and Reading like 15 times each a year. The Maine games have gotten pretty physical. We don't like them very much. I don't like them very much. Reading has had our number all year.
That'll piss you off.
Those games. I mean, that'll piss me off. But those games they're not the most physical team. They've got just a fast, skilled team. They don't play a very heavy game. Maine tends to play a little bit heavier games, so those games can be a little more physical, a little more violent.
Yeah, I was going to say you're going to have a new rival after the next 2 weeks playing the same fucking team 5 times to determine whether or not someone goes to the playoffs. Someone's going to hit somebody's fucking mother, sister, father, whole family, and you're going to say some shit on the ice after that.
Oh yeah, I would assume by the end of the game Friday night that will already be set.
Right.
Yeah, so
gotta set the tone.
Yes. Yeah.
You're going on Saturday, Josh. I'm looking at their website.
I am.
You've got fan appreciation night is on Saturday.
Oh,
last regular season home game. Should be a good crowd. Should be a real big one actually.
Now, is there anything I can do to help on Saturday? You want me to,
Well, I don't know if I get a hat trick every time your friends show up. I'm hoping I can score 4 or 5 when you show up. And I feel like that's
I mean, I'll do whatever. If you need me to go down and give everyone a pep talk, in between periods, I'll flip a water table. I don't.
maybe you can get involved in the pie eating contest this time. Maybe that.
Yeah,
right.
I'll win. Mike Shoe.
He's over 2, right? That's
Yeah.
No, that last one was embarrassing. That last one was embarrassing.
I tried to get a peek at it during the game. I was disappointed for him, but we can definitely continue talking shit about him while he's not here.
Listen, the best way to not get look, we all talk shit whether we're here or not, but he's not here right now. So
fair enough. Yeah.
I haven't heard from him. I hope he's okay, but until I find out otherwise.
We should definitely say that. I do hope he's okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then go back to breaking his balls.
Yeah.
I don't know if I asked you this last time. I found out a friend of mine. Are you in the same league with, or are they in the same league with you? The Savannah Ghost Pirates.
So
Savannah,
they're
Georgia.
going to be joining our league next year. They're a new franchise coming in. They just built a brand new rink down there. I think it's the same ownership group as the team in Jacksonville in our league right now, actually.
It is.
But that's going to be a coveted spot to play in. That's a good city.
Yeah, my friend Brian worked so he and I worked in radio together for years when I was in Orlando. And then when I came up here north to work at AAF and EEI, all that, he was down there, still did a syndicated show, but then started doing work for the Orlando
Solar Bears.
Solar Bears.
Yep. Thank you. Is it same league?
Yep. Same league. Yep.
Okay.
League, yep.
So he starts working for them a few years ago, and they're connected to the Tampa Bay Lightning. So he ends up, COVID was the first year because think about when there were no fans. It was a whole different fan experience, if any at all. It was that pumped in crowd bullshit, whatever. But they called him, the DJ or the in-house, announcer and entertainer called him and said, "Hey, we need your help down in Tampa." So of course he's like, it's like getting called to the bigs, right? So he's like, he goes down to Tampa, and it was that year where there were no fans. And so Brian, they were like, "Okay, you're in charge of the crowd noise." And he's like, "Okay." And they bought all this new equipment to do it. And Brian's kind of like, "So how do I do it?" And they're like, "It's all you, man. Like, you're the first one doing it. No one knows.
Figure it out." Yeah.
Push the buttons. I mean,
was it just a soundboard for different fan reactions?
It was a soundboard. Now, this guy's a huge hockey fan. He grew up in New York. His father was a major Rangers fan. There's so much hockey. So you got to have a hockey person doing it because you get where the puck is going, when there's a hit, when there's an ooh and ah, if there's a fight. And it was basically a soundboard. It was, and that's familiar for someone in radio. You're like, oh, so I hit this button, I pop this thing up, and here's this.
Whatever reaction he had to the play, he just hit that button. That was his.
Correct. Yeah, that was his job. And talk about like a job that never was. Like you're either cranking Metallica between plays, or you're the arena announcer, or you're doing the radio or the TV. This was like, I'm sitting up in this fucking booth, Isaiah. And I'm just like, okay, I get it. Ooh, there's a hit. It's like, what the fuck? But he ends up being with the team the last 2 years. So he's got 2 Stanley Cups because he was on the team, and the team gave out, rings to everybody who worked in the organization. Right? Total bounce.
Yeah. Jesus.
And then he met the guy. He told me in Jacksonville, he was at a Tampa game, and they got to chatting and really liked Brian, his creativity. And he told him, he said, we're starting a new franchise called the Savannah Ghost Pirates. And the Ghost Pirates has such history because there's such, haunted history in Savannah, Georgia. And if you look at their logo, it's pretty cool. So I wasn't sure if they were still in your league, but I did not
know that they had officially named them yet. That's the first time I'm hearing Ghost Pirates.
They went with Ghost Pirates. That sounds like a team in a Will Ferrell movie.
They're going with their, I guess the Railers are because the train whipped through fucking Worcester, right? Or goes through Worcester. It's like everyone's got the Sea Dogs up in Portland are, the baseball team is, I don't know, because that's the fucking name of the brewery. Maybe. I don't know.
I mean, talk about being.
I don't know how these team names get decided. I played over in Germany. And in that league alone, they have probably the least creative franchise developers. They have 2 or 3 teams that are named the Penguins. They have, I think, 3 teams that are named after Panthers, 2 teams that are named after Bears, 2 teams that are like the Eagles, and then they have the Roosters. That's their team league has like 4 different types of mascots. They couldn't be creative enough to come up with 14 different mascots.
Like a cluster of high schools.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
the AHL was kind of like that too. Like there was like what 3 teams called the Admirals. There was the Milwaukee Admirals, the Norfolk Admirals.
Milwaukee, Norfolk. Yeah, we need some more creative people in front offices, I guess.
I'm like, well, do you not have a marketing team? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Somebody at the
Oh,
meeting
it works,
like,
it
how
works,
about the
it works for
Admirals?
them. Maybe it'll work for us. Yeah.
Imagine if it was, in the NHL, it was like, well, you're playing the Boston Bruins, you're playing the Philadelphia Bruins, and the New York. Really? The fuck? Come up with a better fucking name. Did anybody watch anything? I'm going to get a hard no from you, Josh, but did you watch any of the Masters today, Jordan?
I'm a couple minutes late because I was watching Tiger finish up on 17. I'm curious what he did on 18 now.
Oh,
How did he finish?
He was 1 under when I stopped watching. He was looking pretty good, actually.
Smith, what do we got here for the leaderboard? Smith is 4 under. When I saw him, I thought I am, because my name's Isaiah Moskowitz. So I'm like, am I playing in the Masters? Am I in second place? Holy shit! I'm not a good golfer.
I have had the luxury of going to the Masters twice.
Really?
No way.
And I got to go to the practice rounds, and it was that place is, you want to talk about sports venues, that place is beautiful.
Immaculate.
Oh, it is insane. There isn't a blade of grass that's out of place. You have thousands of people walking around all week, and still somehow every blade of grass bends the right and proper way, even in the gallery. I don't know how they do it. It's nuts.
It almost looks like you
dandelions away, but they're
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Josh Dolan is not going to be the groundskeeper for Augusta National.
No, I mean,
No.
unless you like crabgrass, not going to be me.
I mean, that place is, it's insane. The year I was there, I'm sure if you watch the covers, they talked about it, but I was there for a Wednesday practice round, and there was a massive storm the night before, and this huge tree fell and crushed an entire bathroom. Like, and it's not like a portable bathroom. This was a little cabin looking thing. By Thursday afternoon, for the tea times, the bathroom was rebuilt and operational.
Really?
I can't get a plumber to come fix something under my sink in a day. And these guys rebuilt an entire functional public restroom in about.
Well, you're also
hours
not
time.
the home of the fucking Masters.
Fair, yeah, true, yeah.
Jeez, they clean up like Disney. It's just like overnight. And
How was that though? How I went. What did I get? What's the? I cannot think of it. What's the place they play in Massachusetts down by what used to be Great Woods, now the whatever it's called.
TBC Boston, right? Or TBC.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
I
went to that one year, and that was intense. I mean, when you're standing right next to someone like Tiger Woods, who, in his heyday, he's still playing. I get it, love him, but he would just, it's no shock his back is fucked up. He would swing so fucking hard, and that ball would go so fucking far. And of course, then I'd go on the golf course and be like, well, Tiger swings like an asshole, and my ball launches into the woods, But you stand next to those men, and they're just like, wow, you're good at that.
Yeah, that was the cool thing about the practice rounds is you can actually they'll interact with the crowd. Like while they're out there, I mean they're out there, they're loose, they're joking around with people standing next to the tee box. It's a phenomenal experience.
Is John Daly, I just saw a video of him. He looks like shit.
Is that the video where he walks up, crushes a beer, and asks? He goes, "What's the club record?"
Yes.
What's the course record?
He gets out of the golf cart, Josh. If you haven't seen this, and he is fucking huge. You want to talk about a dad bod? And he's got this David Letterman white beard, and he's been pounding down Marlboros for 40 fucking years or 30 or what. He doesn't give a shit. And he grabs a fucking
his body.
Oh, that thing is something. It's study. Holy shit. When it finally, when him and Keith Richards finally go, we need to look at these bodies and be like, what the fuck is going on? But Josh, he gets out of the cart, and I think the title is how to start a round. And he just opens a Miller Lite, smacking his fucking cigarettes. What's the course record? I'm ready to go. And he walks off, and he's just,
and he crushes.
Oh, he does. I don't think he's playing at the Masters. I'm not sure.
The year I went down there, he wasn't playing, but he had set up outside of the Hooters, right down the road.
Shocking.
Was doing some promotional thing there for a liquor company. I don't know. And if you've ever been to Augusta, Georgia, the golf course is the only nice part about it. It's, you drive through this crap area. And then all of a sudden, you pull off the road, you pull into a parking lot, and you're just in this glowing heaven of golf. But right down the street, like just around the corner, there was this Hooter, and there was John Daly's RV set up for some liquor promotion at Hooter.
I love that he's got a fucking RV like sponsored by fucking Jaeger.
I don't even know if they sponsor him or pay him. I think he just does it.
He just does it.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. I went. What's the best course you've ever played?
That's
tough.
Oh, I got to play. I get to play over in Northern Ireland at Royal Port Rush. It's where they had the British Open in 2019. I want to say it was 2018 or 2019. That was a cool experience. Beautiful course. Worst fucking golf day of my life, weather-wise. It was like 40 degrees, pissing rain, and you're right on the coast in Northern Ireland, so the wind's
freezing.
Well, that's
60 miles an hour in your face. But yeah, it actually is. That's true. That's a summer day for them. But no, me and one of my teammates, it was a free round. We were like, oh, we're going for sure. We made it like 13 holes, and we said, fuck this. I can't feel my fingers anymore, let alone hit a golf ball.
Josh is you want to get into golf. Right?
Yeah, I say that every year, and then I don't,
You do, because I end up talking about golf, and you're like, can I come with you? And Jordan, in my head, I'm like, no, because he's never played, and it's fucking bad enough because I'm not that good. He'll make it a 6-hour round when it should be maybe 3.5.
Maybe I'm
4.
like John Daly. I'm just natural.
Yeah, maybe I've got a friend of mine. I started playing golf with him right at the beginning of COVID. He had never played golf before in his life. He's an athletic guy. Played D1 soccer for a little while. He was shooting like first couple rounds went out. He was 130, 140. He was awful. By the time that summer ended, though, he was shooting in the low 90s, trying to break it into the 80s.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's
figured
doable.
it out.
You can do it if you put the time in, Josh.
I definitely will this year, but I'm still trying to figure out which way I swing. They both ways. No, hold on. Both ways feel wrong. And I'm right-handed for writing, but I'm a lefty shot for hockey. Don't know what I am for golf.
That's what I am. I'm a lefty golfer.
Oh, you are. So I should probably try.
For me, it's kind of because I play hockey lefty. My strength in kind of rotating that way just naturally goes in that direction. So I can hit the ball a lot further lefty. That's pretty much the only reason I play lefty.
I should stick lefty then.
Yeah, that way you can swing harder and just try and crush the ball.
Well, you have a professional hockey player here discussing strength, and you are deciding what you do with your right hand and your left hand, and that's, I don't really think that pounding your fucking whistle with your right hand or your left hand is compared to what he does for a living. So I would probably just stick left. Do you write with your left, Josh?
No, I'm righty.
What do you do left-handed? Shit left-handed? What do you do left-handed?
I'm a left shot in hockey.
Okay. You don't really play hockey. So I would go with right.
Yes, come.
Well,
not professionally, but
not with this guy on the fucking show.
Do you play the men's league around here?
I do in Concord.
Did.
It starts this week.
Are you going to do it?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I mean, last year,
what division do you play in?
Last?
No,
Sorry.
There's not. It's
more. Most men's leagues go like A, B, C if it's a league, or is it like is it like pickup? What?
It's beer league.
Beer league. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm sometimes red shirts, but sometimes I go black.
Okay.
So as you go into the playoffs, Jordan, don't even fucking think about asking Josh to step in. See, our friend Andrew Raycroft, who's in the booth at Nesson, is actually like the third back for the Bruins if people knock themselves down. Josh, just because he's in the building, do not think for one fucking second he's going to help the Worcester Railers. You're like, hey, Josh, can you? He's like, I've had like 2 shots and 4 beers. No, I can't.
There was a point this season where we might have considered it. We had no bodies with COVID stuff. It was nuts.
Really?
I think it's like 74 guys, 75 guys or something this year have worn the jersey.
Wow.
No shit.
Oh, it's absurd. There was a point where I walk in the locker room and I go to get in the change room. I walk into my stall and I walk by like 3 guys. I look at guys that have been there being like, who the fuck are these guys? Like, where this guy?
Usually I work at the pro shop.
Yeah. We played a game down in Reading. We had 3 or 4 guys. We had 4 guys fresh off of a desk on Wall Street drive out to play in our game. Now they had all played professional at some point. They'd retired in the last 2 years. We just didn't have enough bodies. And the league was making us field the team. And so we bring these guys in. We play it. I was almost embarrassed to play in this game. We had a guy wearing Edmonton Oilers pants.
Oh,
we had
Jesus
a guy wearing
Christ.
Pittsburgh Penguin pants. We had a guy in a black helmet with a Perkins restaurant logo on his helmet. This is a professional hockey league. It was just like, it was.
Perkins got a plug though. That's where Tiger fucked all his girlfriends.
Yeah, there you go. Jesus. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
we
definitely
had
take
we
my
had some
number
low
down.
points. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Let me tell you,
I'd
if
be
you get
happy
into
to
the
do it.
playoffs, no, don't, no, stop,
Listen.
stop.
And I stand by that argument I was having with Andrew Raycroft. I could get one by him.
Listen, Jordan. So
I would love to see that.
You
Like
could
the-
see, like you?
Yeah,
yourself?
like on the ice. Like
No, you wouldn't
10
be able to score on me.
I think I could get a couple by. I think I could.
No.
10
No.
on the ice? I think we might have to.
Yeah, we could do that. I
Do
mean, I've
this.
never seen you play, so I suppose, but you wouldn't. I don't think you'd be able to score on me, even if we just jumped on the ice right now. It's hard.
I've scored on Byron Defoe.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I did. Yeah, I would like to see the context of that goal.
Wives Carnival. It was a tennis ball.
Yeah, exact. Perfect. Case closed.
He had dress shoes on.
Yeah, exactly.
I still think I could. Really? 10 shots? You don't think I could get one by you?
No, it's hard. I mean, no.
Dude, back in the day.
I don't know if it's probably more of a liability issue than it is an ability issue. I think you would probably get killed. Is what would end up happening. The difference between beer league and our league is we kind of try and hurt each other out there at times. You guys just try and avoid the contact.
Jordan will swoop around and be on your team and fucking kill you, let alone the other team.
Yeah, and that's fun. I mean, that's like saying I got knocked out by Mike Tyson. Like, not everybody gets this.
The last 2 days you had a cough in throughout your back and you cried like your daughter for 2 days. If you got hit by a man in that fucking league, you'd be dead.
I am sorry I get sick sometimes, okay?
So do I, but I'm not going to play for the Worcester Railers.
But you're still here. We're still here.
Right. Mike Shue didn't even show up. I'm a huge fan. Now, you tell me in your league, Jordan, what is fighting like? How do you think fighting is in your league? Because I really miss that in the NHL. Like, it's not as
it's not as prevalent. We still fight.
Yeah.
I had a fight on Saturday last week.
Did you kick his ass?
I hit him once, and I don't think he saw it coming, and he dropped back down and tried to grab my leg and take me down.
So you made contact, not fucking the helmet. You got a good.
Oh, it was one. I got partial visor. I got a nice little hole in the one knuckle from it.
Who puts a fucking visor on helmets? I'm trying to punch you in the face. The fuck.
I like keeping my eyes in my head, so I prefer wearing the visor. That's
fair.
Actually, it's funny. So a couple of my games way back when I got called up in Atlanta and in preseason, I didn't wear a visor, and a couple of guys in my team saw some pictures of that. And it put in perspective to them just how fucking old I am.
So, like, Jordan didn't play with a helmet. How fucking old are you? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What are you, fucking Terry O'Reilly over here?
I did play back in the day when you could still not wear your helmet in warmups. Which I gotta be honest, I kind of missed that. That was
You can't go no bucket in warmups?
I'm pretty sure it's a massive fine now. I think the NHL guys can still do it, but I think the American League and the East Coast League can't do it. I would be doing it if I could. It's just fun.
You can dedefinitely go no helmet warm-ups in the NHL because you see, they don't have helmets on.
I think in the NHL it might be like a grandfather thing. Like if you were in the NHL before a certain year, I'm not sure how it works. It was Evander Kane took a spill in warmups and then got a bad concussion, a bad cut on his head, and ever since then they made a big stink about.
If you're fucking taking a big spill in fucking warmups, what are you doing? How are you going to play in the game?
It happens to the best. It does happen to the best of us sometimes. So
I'm sure. But to get a concussion, you have to lose an edge. You have to lose an edge and go fucking sliding into the boards. That's like Oops.
Or one of your teammates is wheeling around like an idiot and runs into you. That's
I just
the
saw
other
that. I just saw something like that on whatever fucking social media I'm just staring at.
It was
Looking at-
an old clip of Shane Doan.
Was it?
Skating
And he was
backwards and got
circling
buried.
around.
Yeah,
I think that might
got
have been it.
buried
And
by a teammate.
but he missed one teammate. The guy was skating around being all fancy, not fancy, just working his legs out, right? And he missed one teammate and then turned around and just, social media, they line it up with like fucking, Mark Morrison, Return to the Mac. And as soon as boom, that moment hits, he fucking decks his own fucking teammate in fucking warm up. It's like, really?
Yeah.
And everybody's watching.
We had a guy go down last game or 2 games ago. We had a guy go down, and so there's a tradition in pro hockey that before the game you find. Sometimes there's reasons to put money on the board. Sometimes guys just do it because it's a big game. But what you do is you go up, you put your number on the board. Say you put $100 after. If the team wins, that money goes to the team fund for rookie party, end of year party, and all that stuff. The thing when you fall down in warmups is it's a guaranteed 25. If one knee hits the ice, if both knees hit the ice, it's a 50. If a piece of equipment falls off, then you're up to 100. But that's a fun tradition in the locker room, and you always find random reasons to get guys to put money on the board if they've got girls come to the game they've left tickets for. You can do things like that.
Well, it's kind of like hockey's version of a swear jar or a douche jar.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
That's funny. So how many times have you wiped out during practice? Warm-ups?
Warm-ups, I think it's probably happened like 2 or 3 times in my career. I took a vicious spill in practice once this year and almost killed myself. I had just tried putting a different rocker on my skates, sharpening wise. Went to reach for a rebound going 100 miles an hour and met the boards going about 96. So
those don't have much give to them.
No, especially at the old Worcester Ice Center over there, probably the coldest rink in Massachusetts.
I think those boards are cement too. Last I checked,
they are hard.
Probably felt like cement. You flying into
both knees thing. And both shoulders and my wrists can attest to that.
Oh,
yeah.
There's got to be a moment when you're playing at the pro level where like shit like that. It's like, fuck, dude, Jesus Christ! Like, I mean, injury. How many injuries? Like, what was it? The injury that you had in your career where you thought, fuck, this thing's over. Like, I'm fucked up. Like, I just fucked myself up from a fight or whatever. That's fucking scary because you're on a path in professional sports and you catch an edge or something fucked up happens and you're out. What was the biggest moment?
For me, I think we've talked about the one. I talked about my back injury and the insurance settlement that I passed up on for that the last time we were on. But other than that, like I had a really fucked up thing happen in Germany to me. I was playing over there, and in order to play in Germany, you have to pass a pretty rigorous physical for insurance reasons. And one of the things they have you do is an exercise stress test for your heart. And they found a problem with my heart, like obviously not a major one. I'm still playing, but fuck. So they find this problem. They bring me in. They run a bunch of other tests. They put me through a cardiac MRI. They do all this stuff. So I mean, I've never had an issue. I've never felt any palpitations, shortness of breath, chest pain, like none of that shit you'd expect.
Now they're making you nervous
any kind of heart problem. So now I'm like, what the fuck? I'm doing fine. This is great. I'm like I'm gonna be fine. So I'm starting to get ready to go back on the ice. I'm like, I'm practicing today. They're gonna call me and tell me I'm okay. So team doctor calls me. Again, keep in mind I'm in Germany, so there's a language barrier. Calls me, goes, I have bad news. The results from your cardiac MRI just came in. You'll never be an athlete again.
Excuse me.
My instant reaction, I hang the phone up.
Yeah, no, I didn't get that call. I missed that call.
So I walk out to the car and I called my mom back here. I was like, so the doctor just told me I'll never be an athlete again. And she's like, well, why? I'm like, I don't fucking know. I hung up.
I fucking threw my phone in the water.
Not the answer I was looking for.
No. So she's like, well, call him back. So I call back and he starts to explain the whole thing. And the conversation, I'm like, well, this is my team doctor. Like, what does this guy know? And so I asked him, like, can I talk to the cardiologist that looked at these tests? And he goes, all right. Now keep in mind, it's Friday at this point. He's like, he can see you at 4:00 or else his office is closed. You can see him Monday morning. I'm like, it's like fucking 2:30 or 3 right now. His office is an hour and a half away. Like, I'm not going to make it in time. It's like, all right, well, I guess you can just see him Monday morning. So I've now been told that I got like a massive scar on my heart. Like, I'll never be an athlete again. I should be careful getting my heart rate up. I'm in Germany, so I'm across the fucking Atlantic Ocean from my entire family, all my friends. I'm living on the 4th floor of a walk-up apartment with no elevator. I got my freaking Apple Watch on. I start walking up the stairs and taking my pulses. I'm going up the stairs. I'm like, Jesus, I got to sit down. Like, am I going to die walking up these stairs? My team left to go. So all the friends that I had just made in the first month of training camp, they went to Switzerland for training camp. So for 3 days, I'm just sitting in this apartment. Doing nothing, talking to friends and family, I'm 30 years old, trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to do with my life, because my career just, seemingly just came to an end.
All of this doesn't sound good for your heart.
No.
Yeah, right. You're freaking the fuck out, and you wonder why your heart rate's up. You're like,
So, geez, I mean, I even like,
holy shit.
So I get in to see the cardiologist, and he's giving me this whole runaround. Like, he's like, yeah, like it could be this, it could be that. We make mistakes sometimes, and sometimes the imaging is not great. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, yeah, exactly.
Get it right.
So I get back I pack up my shit. I get back to Boston. I get in with an unbelievable network of doctors here in Boston, right out of MGH. First thing the first guy says to me, he goes, we know what's wrong with you. He goes, we can get you back on the ice. He goes, we want to redo these tests because these images are horrible. But we got a pretty good idea. We can probably get you back on the ice in 4 weeks. So I end up, even after that conversation, I'm still obviously on high alert. Like, they haven't actually told me what's wrong or what they're going to do. I remember he told me it was okay to start skating. You can get on the ice, just don't push yourself too hard. Like, if you just want to get out there, just, for your mental health, like, do something for yourself, like, get out there. So I go to stick time over at the New England Sports Center. And I just go out there and screw around, playing with some old men and young kids out there, just messing around, shooting pucks and stuff. And get in the locker room afterwards, and I get in the car and I go to Wegmans in Northborough. And I'm walking around Wegmans in Northborough, and again, Apple Watch on. So I'm looking down, and I'm feeling like warm in the grocery store. And I'm looking down, and I'm like, my heart rate's like 115. I'm like, I'm grocery shopping. Why is my heart rate 115? So head starts spinning. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. As soon as I look down again, 130. I look down again, 140. I look down again, 150. Never had a panic attack in my life. I'm now having a panic attack. So at the time, I have a condo in Boston, but it was rented out because I was supposed to be playing in Germany. So I'm living at my mom's house in the meantime while I get all this stuff figured out. And so I just drive back there. She's not home. I go upstairs, take a nap, fall asleep. I wake up and tell her the story, and she looks at me. She goes, "You just went to sleep? you thought you were having a heart attack, and you just went to sleep? Don't do that. That's not what you do.
You didn't call
urgent care. Call a doctor."
No. I had a sandwich first, then I went to sleep. Okay, calm down.
Exactly.
I went to
I had my
Wegmans.
lunch and then
I had a nice turkey sandwich. It's a great grocery store. Then I went to bed.
Everybody knows the best thing for a heart attack is to sleep it off.
Right.
That's all you got to do. So So I mean, the long story, but the short and the end of it, I ended up having a minor heart surgery in 2016, I think it was.
Really?
And I was back on the ice in 4 weeks. I had the surgery. It was 2 weeks of nothing, 2 weeks of starting to ramp it back up, and then right back into practicing games. And that's when I played with Manchester. My first games ever in the East Coast League. I had a friend of mine was on the coaching staff up there, and they made room to bring me in. Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Now, is that something? It's funny, not funny really, but Josh and I have known each other for years, and we've talked about different back issues that we've had, fucking cardiac things we've had. Did you have an ablation? Was that what you had done?
Yeah, that's what it was.
Done. So that's an electrical thing. And as you're telling this story, this is a Fitbit. Okay. And I'm really glad I didn't have this in high school while I was doing cocaine, because it would have been 250. Let me just fucking tell you. And that wouldn't have been good. Let me just start this segment with that. I'm an adult now and I only drink. So, but that feeling is so, I've had that issue since I was a kid. My heart would go into atrial fibrillation, right? And then, well, there's a difference between atrial fibrillation and tachycardia. I can't remember which one starts it. And if you let it go long enough, it becomes the other one. And then if you let
I think
that
it's
go,
tachycardia and AFib. I think AFib is a real bad one.
well, AFib is at a point where the way it was explained to me by my cardiologist, which actually I'd seen a number of them over the years. The first time this happened to me, I was literally 12. So there were no fucked up substances or dumb things. It was my heart, like yours.
Glad to know you didn't start at 12.
Listen, I'm from Massachusetts. Maybe when I was 15, I was getting close to the dumb ages.
Okay. All right.
Here we are. But they told you this.
You clarified. That's all.
Hey, it's like I said when I started the show. I took a piss. I washed my hands. I'm an honest guy. I tell you what's happening. But you have an extra exit off your heart. That's what that was. Because most of us, normal people, have 4 valves, I guess, of where the blood flows and moves around. I have a 5th one. That's how my cardiologist made it real simple. He's like, Isaiah, I'm going to draw this for you. You have 4 exits like everyone does, but you have a 5th. And when that door flips open, the blood rushes that way. And that sends your heart into this rhythm that is fucked up. And you feel like you're having a fucking heart attack because I sort of the thing goes to 190. And it's like, that's not good. And then, like Josh just said, the mind takes it to 200.
Oh, yeah.
And I've called ambulances over my life because the first time it happened, I didn't know what to do. And I'm finally like, fuck it. This is what 911's for. And I did it. And it was, okay, you're not having a heart attack. But if you let something go from AFib or tachycardia to AFib, the problem is the 2 top valves of the heart, the blood just sits there and it pools. It can harden and push a blood clot and you're dead. That's how you have a fucking stroke and you're fucked. And that could be if you're 12 or 112. And so as you were describing that's fucking crazy as an athlete because you push a blood clot while you're skating, it's over,
Yeah. I mean, it was the craziest part was that I never felt anything. Like I never had a palpitation. I never had like any of that stuff. And even when I went in for my ablation, like it ended up being close to a 6-7 hour procedure. It's supposed to be like an hour.
Really?
And 45 minutes.
Wow.
And basically the doctor said, because of what you do, we wanted to make sure that, we really got it. He said, honestly, because they artificially recreate your arrhythmia.
Correct.
While you're having the ablation so they can figure out where it's coming from.
They zap you.
Yeah, it's the craziest fucking thing. You're laying on a table, and I mean the wires go in through your groins and everything, so you're hanging out for everybody to see in a freezing cold emergency room.
Here we are
in an operating room. It's I remember having a slightly sedated conversation with a lovely nurse behind me about the whole thing.
And your balls are hanging off the table.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what is going on here?
I play hockey, right?
It's the craziest thing. You're laying on this table, and all of a sudden your heart rate goes from and I have a very low resting heart rate. At that time, it was like 39, something like that.
That's way low.
It goes from like 39 to like 170, and you're not even moving. You just feel it in your chest start going like this. It's crazy. Yeah, no, it is low. I in my post-op, I would set off the "you're dying" alarm. Because they have it set to go off as soon as it goes below a certain amount, and me just trying to take a nap was setting that off consistently. People would come running in thinking I was coding when I was just trying to sleep, which was
he's napping
really
again. He does a lot.
Yeah. The rudest thing about that entire process, the entire surgery and all that, the one thing that I still look back on and I think was the rudest thing anybody did to me during that whole thing. Not the doctor telling me I was going to die. And that I shouldn't get my heart rate up over 120. It was the person that during my 7-hour surgery, after they eventually had to sedate me and put me out because my back was killing me so much, put a catheter in and never told me. And so then the first time I got up to pee in my post-op,
it was still attached.
It was out, but I have not felt pain like that. Ever.
Fuck me.
So that's the person from that whole experience. I really look back on it. I think, you know what?
And this was a Massachusetts doctor.
This was some MGH doctor or nurse that did that to me.
No, that's an attendee that's their job is to stick tubes in cocks all day. So it's not like they're fucking Dr. Feelgood. But oh my God, I remember having back surgery at New England Baptist, and that I had a catheter in, and I was all fucked up. Josh and I have had many conversations about back pain and issues, and I had sciatic. I had a disc that had deteriorated in my lower back, and it was pinching the fuck out of my nerve. So it's shooting this pain down my left leg. Oh God! And it was like You can do everything from acupuncture to fucking whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a bone that has squished on the nerve. Fuck you. You got to get surgery. And, you know, nobody wants to, oh, hey, I'd love to have surgery. But I did. And I tell you, the post of that was crazy because the doctor at New England Baptist was like, look, and I really adore this guy because he took great care he's like, here's how I'm going to do it. I prepare for multiple hours. You're in surgery for multiple hours. You're going to be out of it for a couple hours. And then I'm going to put you in ICU for 3 days. I don't give a fuck what this hospital thinks. I just, you know, whether it's like reconstructive surgery of the spine, this guy would do reconstructive surgery on people with like scoliosis, like really fucked up, like spines. I had one thing. He kind of was like, yours is easy. I'm like, yeah, I get that, but I'm still on my face and you're ripping me open, throwing my insides all over the place. I was freaking the fuck out. But that catheter thing was the weirdest feeling. First day, I was so fucking high on morphine, I didn't even know my name. But he made it very clear. He said, I put a morphine patch in your back, Isaiah. So that's it. He said, but I'm going to tell you, day 2 will be fucking hell. I'm like, Jesus, do you have to use those words like that? Jesus, fuck. Right?
Thank you for keeping me calm.
Well, I mean, he didn't make me say it, but I'm just like, really? And it hit, and it fucking hit hard. And that's when I started to feel everything. And that fucking thing in my dick, I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. And you're not dying. But then, of course, heart rate, everything goes right back up. They did tell me, and I was concerned about this because knowing the situation, I haven't had the ablation yet, but I'm like, that's intense surgery. Like, am I going to kick into AFib? And they're like, you might. That's what they have so many people around you for, if it does happen, they kick you out of it. And they told me a couple days later, thank you for not telling me while I'm so high on morphine, I can't spell my name. But they were like, oh no, I fucking tripped into AFib in the middle of the surgery. And I'm like, that fucking, I'm glad I was out cold for that. But they had to work on getting it back and, Jesus Christ. So I'm glad you're past that. So the ablation, you had no complications?
I had no complications. I was good for like 3 years. And then I had a rare reversal of the problem. They put me on some meds and now I've been good ever since.
Tylenol?
I think it's like Nadolol or something like that.
Yep.
It's a beta blocker. Yeah.
Keeps the blood fucking thinner than normal.
No more catheters though.
No, I'm hoping to avoid those for the rest of my life.
Dude, lucky. I've never had one before. There was one time I thought that they were going to give me one. They said something about catheter, and I was like, I'll just leave. I'm just going to leave. And
I'll just walk out.
But what they were
actually, I'm out.
But what they were talking about was stabbing like a catheter. I guess it's a medical term. I thought it just meant, one thing, but they were talking about stabbing it into my lung to blow it back up when I had a pneumothorax.
Jordan, he had a lung collapse on him.
For no reason.
It just happened out of nowhere?
Yeah, I was getting out of the shower. I thought I was having a heart attack. And then all of a sudden the pain moved from the front of my chest to the back. And then I just felt like I sprinted. And I was like that kind of out of breath. And my wife was like, "You're being so dramatic."
Thanks, honey. Thanks, honey.
I was like, "No, I'm in a lot of pain. I can't breathe." And she was like, "Oh my God,
it's just a man cold, sweetie.
Yeah.
No, my lung collapsed. Okay."
And then after like day 3, she was like, "Oh my God, just go to the hospital." And I was like, "Okay."
You waited 3 days.
Yeah. And they said if I waited any longer, it would not have ended great. But yeah, I was just happy it wasn't like a heart thing. I was convinced I was going to die.
Did she have other plans in mind? Is that maybe why she kept you from going to the hospital?
No, I was like refusing to go because I was like, no, what if they tell me something's wrong with me?
That's all Josh. But let's be serious. That's most guys, and that's half the battle with us. And that's why thank God for the women or the family in our lives, because like my back hurt for years. I was actively trying to do things, but I'm like, every time I drink vodka, it seems to go away. Really, Einstein? That's not a fucking answer.
Sterile.
I feel good. Maybe I'm not sure. Oh, my back's going to feel better, but my liver is going to slide out my ass. I see. And Josh is the worst about anything, like anything medical. I'll be fine. Well, that's what I work with a lot of veterans, and that's a lot of the things that the veterans don't want to get, not want to, but they just like, I don't need those benefits. Those are for somebody else. But your fucking eyeballs hanging out of your head, Dad. Like you served in Vietnam. You were in Iraq. It's for another one of my brothers. Fucking Jesus Christ, would you go?
I just never know when the right time to ask for help is, you know? Like, when do you call the ambulance on yourself? I feel like they're going to get there and be like, you could have driven.
When you have a punctured lung that you think might be a heart attack,
Yeah.
that would
Yes.
probably be the time to call the ambulance.
I know the context clues now on when to, you know.
Thank you, Jordan.
Also, I
Thank you.
didn't even go to the hospital that's right down the street. I drove an hour to the hospital
Christ
near my
on a
parents'
bike.
house. And I was like, if I die, I'm not dying in Milford. I'm
I mean, I can only say that because I thought I was having a heart attack and took a nap. So that's
Look, I avoided the pain for not avoided it, but it happened and I wasn't sure what it was until there was a point where I'm like, I've got to catch this and I should ask somebody who knows because this fucking hurts. And when it does, you're sweating and you know, I mean, just like you said, you were in Wegmans, you were warm. It's 120. It's what the fuck? And I know that it's like this zip and it just happens. And it goes. And, you know, I've been very clear with doctors and been like, okay, is this life threatening? Not initially, but again, the longevity of the episode, you want to fuck around and take a nap or not go to the hospital for 3 days, you got issues. And I finally just went and was just like, what is this? And they were clear. They're like, it's not a heart attack. It is an electrical issue. And early on, I'm like, am I plugged into the wall? Like, I'm not a doctor. What the fucking electrical? What the fuck? I'm not sucking on a light bulb. It's an electrical nerve thing that happens, and it's not uncommon. The scary part is the one thing they definitely, like I said, they were saying is if you let that sit in that arrhythmia for long enough, you push a clot. You push a clot. That's a whole different conversation of problems.
Yeah.
Whole different conversation. So what I want for you as you go into this fucking 6-day stretch of games is no heart problems, sir.
Yeah. We'll make sure.
I mean, it's not like playoff hockey is stressful or anything.
No.
Can you knock on wood, Josh? We both did. Can you knock on wood for him?
I am. Yep.
Thank you.
It's IKEA wood, but I'm knocking on it.
So we got to get our podcast out. Let's focus on you doing what you're doing, but we got to get this podcast live at the DCU Center and do it like before one of your games and have you on it. Fuck around.
Cam was talking about that. He said probably a little too late for this season. Unless we get into the playoffs, that might give a little time. But no, that'd be awesome.
It'd be fun. It'd be great. It's not like it's live. It's not live radio, but it's really just fucking this shit. It's good content. Hang around, have a blast. Bust people's balls, maybe bring one of the guys from the other team, fucking beat them up on the pod. I mean, whatever you want to do.
Well, I was supposed to go into the studio this morning to do the Pike show with you and Adam, but I've met Adam enough. I didn't feel like getting out of bed at 8:30 to go hang out with him again. So I ended up just
hold on. Let me check my notes. So your first notes were Mike Shue was awful at interviewing. The second one is, let me see if I've got this right. Jordan Smotherman, captain of the Worcester Railers, says, Adam, I wouldn't get out of bed for his bitch ass.
Now he's not going to announce any of your goals.
I'm glad you read between the lines on that one. So
I just wanted to go to the notes that I take during shows.
I did put him in an awkward spot yesterday after the game. And he did handle it really well. So I didn't know this, but they had put together a sponsored rivalry cup between us and Maine, and it was a tire company. I'm probably doing a massive disservice to our team by not mentioning the actual name.
Wait, let me look at the website. Let me help you out.
Company.
Hold on.
I'm trying to pull it up on my Twitter here.
Do it. Now we have Southbridge Credit Union. We want to thank them on the show.
VIP Tires and Service is what it was.
There we go.
Say it again. Say it again.
VIP Tires and Service. I don't know if we have a little plug.
We'll add the logo into your little box there.
This whole hour of fucking mess, we will tag them and they'll be like, why? It's way at the end. It's way at the end.
They had sponsored me, or they had sponsored this rivalry cup. And by winning that game, we won the series against Maine. On the overall season, and Adam pulls me aside. And he's like, "Oh, we got a surprise for you. You got to hang out on the ice here." And as you know, we're insanely superstitious people in hockey, and I'm a firm believer that you don't touch a trophy until you've touched the big one that year.
Yep.
And so this poor guy comes out, he's excited. He's got the trophy. He's the title sponsor and all this stuff. And Adam announces everything. I shake the guy's hand. I look at him like, I'm really sorry. You're going to have to carry that in the room for me. Like I can't touch it. I can't touch it unless I'm going to touch the big one this year. I can't do it. And I felt so bad because nobody explained to the guy that this was a possibility, even though people had asked, like, well, what if he doesn't want to touch it? What if he doesn't want to take it? And so Adam he ends up letting me go back to the locker room, and I hear him over the loudspeaker trying to explain to this guy that basically hockey players are superstitious and stupid and won't do things like touch a trophy before the end of the season. But he did handle the moment pretty well.
Well, I mean, if you're doing business with a hockey team, you should know that about most.
Jesus Christ! I was gonna say, have you not watched a fucking game ever?
Yeah.
Like now yours is the Calder Cup, right?
We're the Kelly Cup. Calder Cup.
Kelly Cup. Yeah. All right, so good. Regardless, it's the cup, and you're not going to touch some fucking. Certainly, this is a made-up thing. This isn't even like this is like, oh yeah, we won the rival. How about, you know what? We're good. Hands go up here. You get those alligator arms. I just want to touch Lord Stanley's Cup when I get a chance in the NHL. That's all. Fuck you.
Yeah. Oh God, I gotta work my way back into trying to fight for that one. But no, there's a picture of the whole thing kind of going down somewhere. I'm sure you guys can find and plug in here.
Your hands are like this.
Basically, I'm shaking the guy's hand, and you can tell I'm kind of leaning in, being like, sorry, dude, I can't do it.
And it's not stupid. That's just sports in general.
Thing.
It's a real fucking thing. Like there's nobody. We're not. You're not done. You're not done until you get the Kelly Cup. You get the Kelly Cup, you'll take a shit in the fucking thing at that point.
We have 5 rounds of playoffs now before we can get there.
Yeah.
So,
oh my God, right? Yeah. I'm still like looking at this schedule. It's still like when you told me that at the beginning, I'm like, who the fuck plays a team? And it's because of the COVID issues. It's not a normal thing.
So one of the games is
a makeup.
A makeup game. I think the Wednesday game is a makeup game, but I'm pretty sure the Friday, Saturday, and the Friday, Saturday ones were already on the schedule.
All right, so I see that. So Friday, Saturday are 2 at home, and then the other 2 are on the road because you do this weekend is your last weekend, Friday, Saturday, and then you're Adirondack. Then you're 3 against these whatever the fuck these people are.
This year they purposely scheduled a little differently. We played a couple extra games against teams in our division. We didn't have a ton of outer division travel because of what happened with COVID last year and certain divisions shutting down as a whole. Much easier to reschedule 10 games than it is to reschedule 72 for a team.
Right.
And so that's part of the reason why they've kind of clustered things together.
I'm going to have to explain to my friend who is working for the Savannah Ghost Pirates that I know you and we're friends now. So
Ghost Pirate.
So I like that you have that job, but fuck off.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to have to tell
exactly.
Worcester Railers all the way, baby.
I think they'll probably end up screwing us too, because I think that means that one of the teams from that Southern Division may have to come up into our division.
Yep.
Because I think they'll have 8 teams in that division, whereas we only have 6 right now. So it'll be interesting to see how that all realigns.
Right. Well, I knew that it was happening, and I was almost like, I wish it was one of those. I knew they weren't playing yet, but I wish it was one of those things where I was like, "Hey, Jordan, so do you know about the Savannah Ghost Pirates?" I say, "Yeah, fucker, we're playing them in the first round. What do you want to talk about?" Nothing.
I think there's a rumor that they might not. There's a rumor they might not be the only new team joining the coast next year. I don't know where the other team would come in, but somebody mentioned the other day there may be a second new team next year as well.
That's good for the league. That's good for the fucking sport. That's good for all of it. And based on what Brian's
back in Manchester, huh?
Right. They're working on it. There are a couple of groups that are interested. From what I've been told,
where did they go? Where did they go specifically?
Away.
They just folded.
There's no Monarchs at all.
No,
they just folded. So that Verizon, what is it, the SNH Arena now, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's been sitting pretty empty. It's just concerts and stuff now.
Now
get the fuck out of here.
You played for the Monarchs, right?
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, I played a partial season after the heart surgery thing before going back over to Sweden for like 13 games in the best payday of my life. And then I came back and I ended up playing a full season in Manchester the following year. I had so much fun in that little 20-game stretch that I said I wanted to be close to home and play a full year there.
So
what year was that?
It would have been 16, 17, I think it was. This was the full season I played there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Where's the after game spot on Elm Street there? You go to like Portland Pie Company every day after
What
a
is
game?
that? What is there's like a country bar that gave you free bacon.
Oh, the one with the schools out front with the
Yes. I can't think of the name of it right now, but instead of giving you a bread basket, they gave you a basket of bacon. Yeah, that place was great. I can't think of the name of it right now though.
Hold on, I'm looking up Elm Street, Manchester bars. Oh my God, we used to, because I worked at Rock 101 for some time in Manchester, and we would do some things like St. Patrick's Day, and that's why I was asking, because we used to do a bunch of Monarchs games. It was a blast. Bonfire Restaurant.
I think it is. I think it might be Bonfire.
Is it Bonfire? Yep. So it's right on Elm Street, 9th Bonfire. Yeah, hold on. Is this it?
I'm looking at the picture right now. Just
that should be on their fucking website. Like, if you know anything about fucking marketing, free bacon, bitches, right across the website.
It's the second picture that comes up when you pull it up. It's just a little basket of bacon. It's there. Yeah, that's the place. Bonfire. Yeah,
that's fucking awesome. They have a 4.1 rating, which is good. Let's take a look
for a Manchester, New Hampshire restaurant. Yeah.
Apparently there's one in Portland, Maine as well. Look at this shit.
All right.
Oh, they're starting to spread out like the Thirsty Moose. Gonna be one.
Ew. Hold on.
So Jordan, this is the second time you've been on the podcast, and you're almost weekly with Mike Shue on his radio show. You're almost ready for your own show at this point, huh?
Yeah, you might as well. No, I although I prefer coming on and not having to think and prepare anything. I just come on and chat with you guys.
Oh, we don't prepare.
Clearly, we don't either.
He told me he was coming on. I'm like, who? I'm like, oh, the guy with the hot girlfriend, and that's how this started.
Yes, hot ex-girlfriend now. Yeah,
hot ex, and this. Hold on. My first notes, sir. Lost the girlfriend, playing better hockey. I'm sorry, Sunshine. Are you watching the episode? You're gone. He's playing better.
You know what? I should preface. She is a lovely person. It was amicable. There are no hard feelings, but I did start to score a lot more as soon as that happened. So
okay, so everything said from this point on is Isaiah, not Jordan. Anyway, so you're gone, Sunshine. He's playing better hockey, and wait a second, he's fucking anybody he wants. Oh
wow!
Jesus.
Isaiah's gonna always bring it too far. I mean,
what? This is
yeah.
Listen. You're free. You're out there. Win the Kelly Cup, okay?
That's the idea.
Was her name Kelly?
No, her name was not. Her name was not Kelly. We'll leave her name out of this. But her name was not Kelly.
Hold on. See ya, because Kelly's your new fucking girlfriend.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah,
that's what we want to see. That'd be awesome. Well, I want to get up and see a game. I've been out there doing some stuff with the new Worcester Red Sox, which is fun. It's fun to see that town kind of just keep on building with different sports. It's really cool.
Oh, absolutely. That whole Water Street area and the whole Canal District is the transformation's insane.
Yeah. The Larry Lucchino and Dr. Charles are involved with the Worcester Red Sox, and I did business with them when I worked in Boston with the Red Sox, and it's so fucking cool to go out there. One of my clients is one of the sponsors, so I have a chance to go out and just kind of see when you get to see it from a level of a corporate sponsor and just like how a building looks. It's like I'm doing an event at the DCU Center on the 20th with these client of mine, and it's just such a great area, and I'm trying to like pull the two together, pull everybody together, do all and the same thing with Josh. It's like, we've got a podcast. Let's go have some fun. There can be some suit events. There can be some black shirt events, whatever. Let's just have fun. Let's just go out and do different shit. And I think having the Woo Sox out in that city is just going to add to the popularity of the Railers.
I think they've got their home opener next week, right?
They do.
I think.
Yes. I think they played their first game last night in Jacksonville was their opener, and
Okay.
but they're doing nice things. They're doing smart things. So like they were doing like a taste of the season, right? So for the people that were the folks that had the luxury boxes, which isn't even that much. It's not like Fenway Park. It's a smaller version, but they invited the people out. They have a new chef. It's really nice. And you just get to see the place, and you get to see like, okay, this is baseball. It's like walking into the DCU Center when you guys are playing hockey. It's like, okay, this isn't the Bruins, but it's fucking just as good because the price point is more palatable, you know. And
Oh yeah, you can bring a whole family for $200 instead of $2,000.
Oh my
you can't
God,
even
exactly.
park for that at the Garden.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
seriously. Yeah.
I think it's great. I'm really excited for Worcester. I mean, that's the second largest city in our state here in the Commonwealth, and I think it's cool. And some of the things I'm working, I would love to even talk to you offline about like how a player like you and a player from the Woo Sox comes together and you go out and you do community things. Like that's a really bad, you know, that you understand the social responsibility that you do. And that's really important to I work with the VA and I work with credit unions, and that's just again, it's back to the kids. It's back to the people that need something, and you're playing a game. And so if you can take like the highlight of a captain like yourself and a captain of whatever, and just go, it's just, I'm excited. I'm excited for the next few years in Worcester.
That's something that I always embrace throughout my career. I started my professional career in Chicago in the American League, and there are very few examples of minor pro franchises that do the community service thing as well as them. Worcester is absolutely another one. The Railers do an incredible job. I mean, they won the ECHL Community Service Award without a team last year.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they did not. That was the one area that they refused to back down in. You know, their staff of like 3 or 4 people that they kept on through the pandemic. You know, they were out constantly with the mascot, and they were doing food drives, they did a Thanksgiving drive, they did all that stuff, and it was tough this year for the players to be involved with all the COVID stuff. As the year went on, we started to be a little bit more involved, and so moving forward next year and all that stuff, you're absolutely right. That's such a huge part of a community like Worcester is getting out there and just interacting with kids. I mean, we do the Learn to Skate program, the Skate to Success program that they've got. I got to go out with a couple of the guys, and it's just kids that would never have an opportunity to touch hockey, get a chance to put some skates and a helmet on and go out and try and wheel around on the ice for 2 hours. It's just a really cool thing to be a part of.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, listen, you and I should touch base offline because there's so much that's happening in that area. I mean, I'll stay focused on your area because you play hockey out there, but it is I work with a lot of credit unions and their social responsibility. Josh and I talked about this, because someone in his world may be looking for an opportunity. And I said, and that person has a teaching background. Like that is so important to the communities. Like these credit unions can partner with these teams and do the same thing at the same time. And at the end of the day, if you're raising money for each one's foundation, right? So how long have the Worcester Railers been a team?
17, 18, I think it was year one.
17,
right?
Oh, okay.
16, 17.
So it's not
that was the year
time.
I played in Manchester. That was their first year. Yeah.
Right. It's not a super long time. The Woo Sox are like their second year in. Last year was all fucked up. So it's like, these foundations aren't fully funded yet and they need that help. And that's kind of where I work with different clients to get people in. And it's just, at the end of the day, you're having a good time. Kids get to go skate. Kids get to go play a little baseball. Maybe if you can tie the two together. I mean, I in my head, I envision a Worcester Railers night at Polar Park. I envision a Woo Sox night at the DCU.
Well, we did that recently. We actually some of the coolest jerseys, some of the coolest third jerseys we've ever worn. We did Woo Sox night, so we had
no way,
like Railers kind of baseball looking jerseys for that game. That was a cool one. So I'm sure there are talks of a Railers night at a Woo Sox game. I got to throw out a first pitch actually at the last game at Polar Park from last season.
Did you?
They had me out there, so there's definitely a lot of collaboration between the two. So they actually gave me a ball. They threw down a turf mat and a stick and said, "Shoot it." I ripped it right over his head. I was like, I'm not. Especially if I'm shooting this, I'm not bouncing it He probably could have caught it, but they had moved me close enough, and I'm not sure he realized how hard the shot was going to
So
come
you
in.
went biscuit hot right here, right over the shoulder.
Oh, right over the top of his head. I was like, I think it hit the backstop in the air. I was not coming up short. That's for sure.
We call that buzzing the tower. So.
Yes, exactly. Yes. yeah. But no, I would love to chat with you offline about some of that stuff. It's one of the things that I've never lost sight of. I'm so fortunate and lucky to have done what I have been able to do for the last 20 years and play a sport for a living. And even just having the smallest impact in somebody's life outside of that has been such a privileged part of my job. And it doesn't take a lot of effort to brighten up somebody's day.
No, it doesn't.
So if there are some programs that you can help me get involved in, I would be more than happy to help out.
Well, I think Josh, he started this podcast again back in the day with Raycroft. We've talked about that when we go somewhere. Like, it's tough these past 2 years. We were just starting this thing after WAF went off the air, right? So that happened, and we probably got. Josh and I did the first one at my house in Malden. Like, what the fuck just happened? The next one was with Mike Shue, because he's like, well, I don't have a job, so I got nothing else to do. So he joined the podcast. And then we went to Mistress Carrie's house, and she was like, well, fuck this. I'm going to start my own podcast. And we were about to have Danielle go to Danielle's house from the Hillman Morning Show. And that's when COVID hit. And so she's very, very close with her mom. And she's got a lot, she houses a lot of animals. So she's like, oh, we could do the podcast at my mom's house. But, in March of 2020, it was all fucked up and we couldn't go anywhere, right? So she's like, I'd prefer if we don't. So we started this format. And if you go back and look at some of the first episodes, it's like everybody on Zoom. We're all like, how the fuck do I?
What's this button do? How do I unmute myself?
This isn't a radio station.
And it's not much better now. So.
No, and we still have no fucking
improved. Yeah, what? AAF going down. That was a sad day for me too.
Oh.
We talked about the first one. I grew up listening to AAF. I grew up listening to Hillman in the morning every day, driving to school with my dad. Like that crushed me to see it. Yeah, and I'm sure you guys felt it a lot more than I did, but it was just definitely missed.
So much bullshit. I mean, that resonated through people like Joe Rogan, who's at the top of his game, who is a fucking masshole and would come into the station way long before Josh and I were even there. Come on. The whole thing was, but
yeah, he used to go to Mike Shue for exposure.
Right? He's like, hey, Shue, can you put me on? I don't think.
And now he's influencing elections.
Well, but the point is let's Josh and I have even talked about when we wanted to get back out and do a show. We're looking to do a show in Worcester because it makes sense. A lot of the people that like this show are Worcester centric because of where we worked and all that shit. So we're working on that, and I think there's got to be a charitable arm to that, because that's really what the fuck it's all about. I'm not here to make a shitload of money for things. If I can help somebody else, then
and we're doing that.
You fucking making announcements when shit's not final.
Tickets are not on sale.
We'll edit that part out later. Yeah.
He's not in sales. Okay, he doesn't fucking realize. No, but that show, that's what I'm talking about, Josh. That show can be something where, Jordan, we'd love to have you there. You, and I appreciate your humbleness of understanding. You're a captain of a fucking hockey team in a pro league. But it doesn't take a lot of effort for you to sit down and go, hey, I'll sign an autograph. I'll take a picture with you. And we'll do it around this podcast where we're just doing this. We're just having fucking fun, man. We're just talking shit, right? And that's, but you attach that to, Mike and I and Josh talked about a number of different charitable opportunities in Worcester. And Mike is, not born and raised, but he's certainly a Worcester centric guy for a long time. He knows the heartbeat of that city. And that's the shit that's important. Can we go out somewhere and have fun? Of course. Can we bring somebody like you? Can we pull somebody from the Woo Sox? Can we bring another celebrity from a band? Great. Let's just sit down. Let's fill the room. Let's get everyone to pay a certain dollar amount, and let's give some money to fucking charity. So we'd love to pull you in on something like that too.
I would absolutely love it. It doesn't take a lot. kind of crazy story. Anyway, our schedule was crazy. I ended up getting sick. We were playing in Reading. The team was headed to Adirondack for a couple of games. Our COO was down there with the team van. I ended up driving back up to Boston and spending 2 days at home and resting up. And, you know, we won the game at Adirondack. I was feeling better. We had another game at Adirondack on Saturday. We were going to play a third game on Sunday in Reading. And I texted the coach like, hey, like, if I can come back and join the team, you know, I'll be fresh legs for Sunday morning. You know, one of these guys that's had to play all these games, you can give him a rest. He's like, sure, if you can get out here, get out here. I ended up catching a ride with a family from our booster club in their van. It was the husband, his wife, and their 3 kids. But just especially the one, their younger boy. By the end of the ride, you could just tell that even that experience of being able to sit and ask me, you know, 50 questions on a car ride from Worcester to Adirondack, you know, probably
awesome.
made that kid's season. And even last night, you know, they were sitting right next to the bench. And so as I'm walking off after warmups, you know, I got to say hi and you know, shake his hand, ask him how they're doing. And there's that personal relationship. And
For life.
It takes zero effort to brighten somebody's day up with a little thing like that. So no, please get me involved. I love doing shit like that. You know, I went to high school in Worcester before I moved up to Canada to start playing. So I grew up, you know, 15, 20 minutes down the road in Westboro here. So anything I can do in this community to make people's days would be, count me in.
That's awesome. That's really cool, man. We appreciate you coming on the show today, man. This is so cool. We do miss your ex-girlfriend. I'm not going to lie, because she was fucking hot. And, but you know, I'm sure you're doing better.
He's aggressive. I mean, life
has been good. There are no complaints.
Thank you. I'm not aggressive, Josh. I'm just calling it in. Like, she was like, I was like, I'm done with this guy. Get this guy the fuck out of here.
You realize that my mother is going to listen to this podcast at some point. So you know,
what's your mom's name? What's your mom's name?
Maureen.
Listen, LaVallée-Smotherman, thank you for raising an amazing son. We appreciate him. We appreciate what he does. Notice how I'm being polite. And he is a community man. And I apologize for anything I may have said that offends you. We are joking, and we are just we're just silly human beings. There's your promo.
She will very much appreciate that. Maybe you can edit that into the beginning when you edit out the part about the concert you've got to not announce that's happening.
Oh yes,
right.
Thank you.
I think Josh can take this, and this is for Maureen, right? Maureen.
Yes.
Maureen-Smotherman, this is for you. We love your son, Jordan. He's amazing. And thank you for raising just an outstanding adult of a human being. There you go. Josh will edit that promo, send that to your mom. She'll be like, this guy seems so nice.
And here's your new agent, Jordan.
Like, what that translates into is, fuck you, Jordan, for making me feel bad about saying things that would upset your mother. That's right. You're going to put words in my mouth. I got to do it right back to you. That's true. That's how this works, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. Listen, I can be your agent, but it's going to be a bumpy fucking ride, kid. It's going to be a bumpy fucking ride. Shit's going to happen for us, and other times we're going to have to leave quickly
because of something you did.
Me, not him.
Exactly,
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just fucking playing hockey.
He went that way, I swear. Yeah.
I never gave that guy's never been my agent. Get him the fuck out of here.
I don't know him. I don't. Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this thing. Let's tighten up. Let's tighten the fuck up. There are 6 fucking games left in your season. How do you feel?
I'm excited. We have been talking about this part of the season all year. We have a great group. This last game showed it. 2 comebacks in the game to eventually win it. We have a good core group of guys that have been there all year, who have been very patient with a lot of the roster changes, lineup changes we've had to go through. But we've got our group now, and I've got a lot of confidence in what we've got in that room, and I can't wait to see what we can do in this 5-game stretch.
I can't wait for Saturday.
Yeah.
I haven't been to a game. I haven't really been to anything at all this year, and I was looking at the schedule and I was like, okay, I need to go to the.
Right.
Well, we appreciate your support the whole year.
No problem.
Right. Hey, thanks for stopping by on Saturday at the end.
Yeah, the last game of the year. Really,
listen, I was doing my part. I was liking all the tweets and the Instagram posts.
Hey, we had you on a podcast. We're trying.
You picked a great game. There's always a good crowd for the last game of the year. It's going to be a playoff atmosphere because it really is. It's do or die for these two teams that are playing in that game. So
Do you guys do for fan appreciation, like remove the jerseys, give them to the fans? What are you guys going to do on Saturday?
They've got all kinds of stuff planned. I think they've been doing all kinds of promos online for some mystery gifts, mystery giveaways. They've got a signed helmet from the team this year. They all kinds of stuff that I'm sure they have planned for the evening.
I think they're also auctioning off a road trip in a minivan with you.
Yeah. Well, that was already won.
Oh, that's.
But
right.
I would do it. I would do it again. I had a good time. They were lovely family, nice kids, nice people. It was awesome. Yeah. Actually, I owe them. I've got to do something nice for them at some point as a thank you for that, because that was awesome.
On Sunday you go back to Adirondack, and that was the family. So maybe you can get in the car and go up there with them.
Maybe I can drive them to the game and get them some tickets this time. Maybe.
Listen, Josh, here's the thing. This is fucking serious business. If you go to that, you are going to go to the game Saturday. If Jordan scores a hat trick, you are fucking obligated to follow them for the next 4 games.
I will absolutely do that.
You can hop in with me. I'll make sure you get up there. Yeah.
Great. I mean, after the game, let's go over to Uno's and we'll just go over travel details. I'll buy you a deep dish.
No, we should go to off the rails. The Railers restaurant.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got to make sure we plug that.
Yeah. That's also a better move because I don't eat at Uno's anymore, and it's because of that one. So.
Yeah.
Off the rails is the shit, though. Listen, Jordan Smotherman, captain of the Worcester Railers. Dude, thank you for coming on the show. Jordan Smotherman, captain of the Worcester Railers. You are going into a serious stretch here to make the playoffs. So good luck. And who are these Frenchies you're playing? Who?
I can't pronounce them.
They Lion de Trois-Rivières.
Oh wow!
Is that French for toilet water?
I think so. Yes. Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, not that we want to talk shit, because we don't want to talk shit.
We do. They're the enemy. Use that line, Jordan, when you're working the blue line during warm-ups with no bucket. Go no bucket. Just see what happens.
Dude, seriously, thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate it, man.
Oh, it's an absolute blast every time, guys. Thanks.